Welcome back to Marvel Maniac and MCU After Show. This is your host, Eric Cicada, aka Mr. Honest, back with you for a second coming. I would like seconds, please, of Deadpool Wolverine, which just hit Disney Plus the other day, if you didn't know. That is very exciting. It was a ride to see in theaters, and it was a bit of a different experience, obviously, being at home. The biggest difference was the screens. I'm just kidding. Well, I mean, it's true, but I'm talking like I see it from a kind of a different corner right now. Like, it's a hype movie. Deadpool Wolverine is pretty much like a stadium chanting, like crowd pleaser type movie. So to watch it alone in my quiet room, it did have some big moments. There's nothing that really felt overplayed to me. But it's just so interesting how you can remember something and then, the second time you're like, oh, what about this or that? So we'll get into some of that stuff. I'm not sure how identical this will be to my original Deadpool and Wolverine. I think it was like the first episode we had coming back after a year and a half. I'd like to think, we are going to maybe talk a little bit extra. I would like a different audio recording, like with maybe some different ideas, hopefully. But I'm not going to take 40 minutes and listen to that when I'm ready to record right now. I'm just going to keep recording because I feel good. And it would be nice to do like at least one episode of my life where I don't stop it after saying something I feel like is stupid, then deleting that and then picking up from there. I think I got the Ryan Reynolds curse right now. The Merc with a mouth has gotten to me. He's in my head. I feel like ironic, sarcastic, and all of the above. It's kind of funny. Deadpool is such a vibe. It's such a vibe. Like, if you're not like the right mood for a Deadpool movie, his comedic style / just his whole character can come off as a little annoying and quirky. And good Lord, I've never criticized Deadpool or Ryan Reynolds. I don't think that's what it is at all. But if you're not in the right mood for it, like, I tried watching it late last night. I was going to watch it late last night because it was like, watch it while I'm tired. It'll be like I'm there. And I couldn't. It's not that I couldn't get through it, but I knew I would need to sleep. Like, I knew I wasn't going to make it through. And I'm glad I waited till today because I had a little bit clearer eyes on it. It's kind of a big deal that Deadpool and Wolverine is on Disney Plus now. Already, it feels like already. Like, that's how I felt about it. I was telling a streamer friend of mine, I was stopping by. I'll give her a shout out, Sparkles_cutie, which makes me feel like I need to shout out my other really good friend streamer, Loser Beam. She's really fun. If you're into Fortnite, those are two streamers I'd highly recommend. They're very, very nice people, and they love what they do. I want to stream. I really do. I would love to stream Marvel Fortnite to y'all. But I'm going to try and get this on its feet, get a little bit past episode 100, then maybe plan out a day or two a week where I'll play for a couple of hours. And I'll let you guys know. Maybe you'll come by, show off some of your Avengers gear. Yeah. So let's just get right into the movie. I love the lighthearted tone. This is in my opinion, the exact movie Marvel needed for its time. And I don't think it will be forgotten or lost in the mix. I honestly think Deadpool and Wolverine is an essential watch from the MCU because it's an indicator that there are full stories being taken place outside of the MCU that are starting to lead towards Secret Wars or wherever Deadpool and Wolverine will be a part of that duology, or at least some part of it, right? They already know the Void, which is highly suspected to be Battleworld. And there's a lot of different terrain in the Void than I think we would have realized back when watching Loki. When we watch Loki, it just does this towering shot over the Void, actually. So you even see like a Stark Towers. You see just broken iconic buildings. You see little Easter eggs. And that's going to be like that if they... Like this movie, they had a lot of Easter eggs. Like one Easter egg that stands out to me, and I've watched Deadpool and Wolverine after show videos, guys. I'm always going to shout out Screen Crush. Ryan Airy over there, I like that guy. I like all Screen Crush. They had pointed out in one of many possible it was either Wanda episodes or just Easter egg videos from this movie. But I didn't. I knew right away because I watched Multiverse of Madness like a couple good times when I was covering it, because I was like, oh man, I never appreciated it that as much as I did when I was covering it then, because I was looking so deep into it. So yeah, the Scarlet Witch statue from Mount Wondergore, in which Scarlet Witch finds in Multiverse of Madness that the whole cave has the Darkhold written on it, and it's not a burial site. It's like a total shrine / prophecy type thing for her. So crazy. I don't know. It's like, is there someone? Does the Scarlet Witch, like when she dies, does she reincarnate in like the same exact form every time? I wonder. I'm very interested in some of the hows and the whys of the MCU, and I hope they start busting down some doors and giving us a little bit of a taste of the magic. And I think She-Hulk kind of tried to do that, and I think that was one of the most badass, brave fourth wall breaks. Just literally her jumping out of her frame into the writer's room of her show, and then to Kevin Feige, who happens to be like a mega AI robot, making all the decisions, calling all the shots. So don't take my word for it. Go watch She-Hulk, and forget what I said here today about She-Hulk, because I just spoiled it. You know what? You know, if you haven't watched it yet, there's a slight subtle reason, whether you know it or not. I will full on hands on tell you, the show was so enjoyable to me. It's one of my favorites, if not it's not my favorite. But it's so fun. So if you want to maybe give She-Hulk a shot, if you haven't, I'd recommend it. Her and Deadpool are bound to be on screen together doing some crazy fourth wall break stuff. At least one moment. There's got to be at least one moment of those two doing a fourth wall break type, self-awareness joke together. This movie brought people together. This movie brought nostalgia, brought hope to fans that for some reason convinced themselves that the MCU was over and or ending. I mean, we've had as Ryan Reynolds, aka Deadpool, says in the movie, welcome to the MCU. You've come in at a bit of a low point. That's all it is. It's a low point. And if you're a creative mind and you're coming out of a low point, you're going to do everything you can to keep that in mind and make the best movie possible, so you don't have to be a part of that low point. So the acknowledging it was the first part. The second part was the dips, dives, and turns that and hoops I'm guessing Ryan Reynolds had to go through to make this movie actually happen. To get Hugh Jackman back on the table, to get this Marvel Deadpool collaboration that people might expect like Spider-Man to swing in at any time, but we get just the right amount of cameo, like that little moment with the Hulk. I almost forgot about it. I think last time, and because there's so many little moments in this movie, and if you're just kicking back and watching it and kind of letting yourself forget you've seen this before, it is like a brand new movie. Like you don't literally process and memorize every single bit of a movie unless you have photographic memory. I can't tell people what you are or how you do things. Yes, this movie's really special to me. I was thinking going in, I'm like, I'm not gonna like it as much this time. It's funny because I think it's on Screen Crush where they'll show the silence after Andrew Garfield like leaves the portal in Spider-Man No Way Home, and like you see him for the first time. They point out like, just watch the scene. Pay attention. You watch the scene, and there's so much dead air for like audience reaction. It's like one of those throwdown, ready to rumble movies. As is this, although I would say they did a decent job, like not making those moments for like the laughs or the shocking moments just for the gasps and the laughs. There weren't too many of them. I mean, every movie does it. The one in Infinity War, we will be talking about Infinity War. We got a few episodes to go. 100th episode special. Be ready. I want to say that I don't remember what I was just saying because I got excited about the Infinity War episode. No, it's the part in Infinity War where Peter Quill says something really like kind of stupid, and Tony Stark has this moment just like looking dumbfounded at what Peter Quill just said. That was a kind of like audience reaction type moment, but they kind of do work, and they kind of make the movie endearing. I don't know, seeing most of these movies in a crowd with your fellow fans on an opening night, you really, really become a part of the like atmosphere of society. You start clapping. I mean, that's the best. No better experience. And I've heard that no better than watching Marvel movies. It doesn't happen every one. I mean, like, and sometimes like it could happen in some, but like they don't do it because it's just not the right room, not the right theater. You got to have the right crowd. It's just a good mix of people who are all kind of like hyped and ready to watch this thing like the freaking Super Bowl. This thing's bigger than the Super Bowl. No offense, football fans. These two characters together work on screen for a lot of reasons. I love the chemistry between them, and even more so now the second time watching that the camaraderie between Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds in this movie is glowing. I heard recently, and it's just I heard literally that they're thinking about doing Deadpool and Wolverine 2. Okay, I'm down for that. You know, it's a whole vibe of its own, and they became by the end of this movie friends, very good friends, to the point where Wolverine sits down with Deadpool's friends. Wolverine lost everything. This Wolverine, and it's kind of cool how they decided let's pick a Wolverine who failed, and he's the worst Wolverine, and that's the problem. He's deemed the worst Wolverine, which is why he's actually the best Wolverine. It's a little bit of a Steve Rogers being really skinny, and that doctor saying, don't change the man who you are. You know, stay humble, stay yourself. I think it's fantastic that he fights for the legacy of his home. The fact that his X-Men were just brutally murdered and dissipated, like, because he left to the bar. I would really be trying to take some of the weight off his shoulders on that one. Like, unless he knew this, like, what was coming up, like, unless he knew there was a threat, which he could have. It's very quiet because he's so sensitive about it. But what we do know is what he tells us, and we can only really take him for his word. And we don't know why or how, but the bodies were packed on top of each other, he said in the movie. And all the X-Men were dead, everyone. And that's not technically letting the world down. But he said something else by the fire with the younger lady X-woman. I should know her name because she's so cool. He told her that he started killing, and she's like, well, you know, you've always done that. I think, bear with me here. He said that he started killing everyone. Like, he went into a rampage mode. He failed. Like, when they say he failed, like, I think he was trying to say he killed innocent people, which, honestly, if we seen that on screen, that would probably like make us not like him and think he's the worst Wolverine too. My guess is that what he would do with smaller time villains under the name of the X-Men, he probably wouldn't like completely decimate the villains and, you know, kill everyone. Everybody deserves a little justice. And, you know, Charles Xavier was a great influence for him, most likely when he was alive. So maybe he's just putting his fist down and his claws deeper into the street thug or the common enemy, or whoever's left to fight him after losing everybody. So he's so down in the bar by the time Deadpool gets to him that Deadpool doesn't know it. Deadpool doesn't know it. He just wants an anchor being. And that's something that's brought up in this movie. We're going to jump from topic to topic like this. I have an outline even like set up to not do that. But I want to be genuine, guys. You know, like, what do you think? Should I be sticking with this outline? Should I just wing it? Should I do a little bit of both? I am doing a little bit of both. But we have this feedback box. Just go to the description of this episode, hit the feedback button, and you can say anything to us except rude things, because then I won't reply and I'll feel bad, and you'll get bad karma for it. You'll get really good karma if you leave me some feedback. What's your favorite MCU movie? Are you happy we're covering this again? Are you excited for our episode 100 Infinity War Spectacular? I'll give you the lowdown. We have today's release of Wednesday, and then we have Friday's release. Then we have another Wednesday and another Friday. Both of these weeks we're gonna have Black Panther, then Thor Ragnarok, Then the following week, we will not have a Wednesday episode due to Friday's Infinity War special. We're going to build up a little more hype towards that. And I don't want the special to be on a Wednesday. I'd rather have it be on a Friday and kind of have its own time in the sun. It's a celebration. So you are welcome. And I'm not like thanking you. I'm not acting like you thank me. Like, you're welcome to join me on that day whenever you're able to listen, because it's already panning out to be one of Marvel Maniac's best episodes of all time. And it's a culmination of us sticking to it and just being in love with Marvel and wanting to share that with other people with like minds. So I'm excited to share that episode with you and our guest. We have a great special guest for that episode, and I can barely contain it, so I'm going to shut up. So I love when he's going through all the he's going through all the universes, and then he sees comic accurate Wolverine, and he sees Henry Cavill Wolverine, who audiences love, and there are discussions happening. I don't know what is being said, where these discussions are happening, what they're talking about, but I think that reaction to the Henry Cavill Wolverine, I think they're gonna totally do something with him. If Hugh Jackman decides he doesn't want to go after Secret Wars, I think they're going to give him an option after Secret Wars for that to be the end, if they haven't already. The only headline I remember at the top of my head that I've seen many times is Hugh Jackman is ready to do more Marvel movies. So if he wants, and then Marvel is willing to let Hugh Jackman play Wolverine as long as he can. So maybe we'll have him, a multiverse with that Henry Cavill X-Men. And, that's the thing. I say MCU, and sometimes I forget that includes everything under the sun, even other universes, I guess, because it's all part of the MCU. Just because this didn't take place in the 616 universe doesn't mean it's not part of the MCU. Okay, we have to talk about the beginning of this movie real fast, this part, because I didn't get to it last time. And it is something that needs to be thought about a little bit. All right. We know that Wade in 2018, March, 2 months before Thanos snapped half of all reality away, he has an interview with Happy. And he even asked him, so the big man gonna be here? And then Happy's like, consider me the big man for this. He wanted to have a one-on-one with Iron Man. I don't know why Wade had to get like this and go to the 616 to be an Avenger anyway. He has a universe that probably needs plenty of protecting of its own. This scene was fine for me until fans pick things apart. So I'm not jumping on any bandwagons here. It's just, how did he get to Universe 616? Is Cable's time travel device also a multiversal time travel device, or are we just pretending that he can just do that? Can he just do that? Go talk to Happy and jump into different universe? I don't think. If he had that idea, if he had that power, the idea probably would be to get out of the void quicker. And I don't think he does. I don't know. It's very interesting. So we will see. If it doesn't explain itself, I'd choose no better movie than a Deadpool movie to have, I wouldn't even call it a plot hole. Although I'm sure plenty of people are pulling this thing apart and deconstructing it like Vision and what. Never mind. I don't want to think about Vision. I miss Vision so much. Can he come back, please? Yeah, I love Deadpool and Wolverine on screen together. Their first fight is a lot of fun. You see in the background, obviously the Fox Studios logo. Bye. Let's go back to that. We're gonna zip around these moments because I'm thinking of the culturally significant moments. And bye. The opening when Deadpool is literally tearing apart dozens of TVA agents to the song Bye. Some fans have pointed out this is kind of like a goodbye to the Fox X-Men universe. The other is the fact that it's just awesome and it's cool to see Deadpool kick ass and do just do the dance from the music video like spot on. You know they gave Ryan Reynolds a body double, but I believe Deadpool so much. That's so in character of him, and it's almost like, oh my god, look what they're doing to the TVA. Like, it's such a gory movie. I'm like, he's never gonna be forgiven for this. But it turns out, Paradox, the man sitting in a lower corner of the TVA that apparently he has just his own station, he's rogue. So we know Loki made everything good. I don't want to spoil much about Loki. Watch that show if you haven't. I call it essential Marvel viewing. Some shows aren't. That one is. Yeah, so Loki must not have... It wasn't off everyone's radar what Paradox was doing. So the death of all of those, every single one of those men is on Paradox. Really, it's not on Deadpool. Because Deadpool, the thing he learned that sent him out to do that job was that his universe was going to disappear and go away. And Paradox knows Deadpool has a future in the MCU. We know through the Thor scene. And I didn't notice the Paradox actually says that's from a distant future. Like, oh my God, that's so funny. I thought, maybe it was just like a kind of in passing joke, right? But no, I think we're going to see that moment between Thor and Deadpool on screen. And fans are going to really want to see it. If they don't do that, that part is so talked about. Yeah, man. It's just little moments like this is what we've earned to get Deadpool in the MCU. We got him in the MCU. It's not going to be the instant, satisfaction of having him fight along Shang-Chi and Black Panther. It's not happening yet, but like the potential for it to happen is 100 or 1,000 times greater. Depending on how Doomsday goes down, we might only see them in Secret Wars, but I do have a feeling that Doomsday will start decimating universes, causing incursions, bringing some multiversal characters together. So I think it's a possibility that Deadpool and Wolverine do have some part in Avengers Doomsday. But who knows? Avengers Infinity War, biggest collaboration of all time. There were a couple of characters that didn't make the cut for that, like Hawkeye and Ant-Man. So there's definitely going to be some things like that. And, I don't like saying set your expectations low. Don't set your expectations anywhere. Don't overexcite yourself. Don't Marvel, please stop showing so much in your movie trailers. My next episode after Black Panther might be a complaint about them revealing too much in movie trailers because Marvel really needs their movies to be hits right now. So they're showing like way too much, in my opinion. Deadpool and Wolverine fighting, I think, takes up probably like a full 15 minutes of this movie. And it reminds me of kind of like a little bit when the Avengers met in that forest and Thor and Iron Man and Cap kind of had it out. I thought that was the fight in the middle of the movie was way more gruesome, way more personal, and oddly brings them together. The fact that they both know they can heal, they just like straight up go all out on each other. Like Wolverine beats the crap out of him, and Deadpool can hold a pretty decent fight against Wolverine. Does he call him Pumpkin or Sunflower? What does he call it? Anyway, I think it's kind of funny that Peanut. It's funny that Deadpool calls Wolverine Peanut in this movie, like in Ant-Man and the Wasp. I'm gonna mention this now, but one of my favorite fights in the whole movie, and it's kind of the climactic fight of the movie, is when we see all the Deadpools. And we get all sorts of Deadpools. I'm not even going to go down the list. I do like Music Man Deadpool. That's what it's called, right? The Entertainer, The Greatest Showman. Reference to Hugh Jackman's Greatest Showman. Deadpool in there. There's all his whole family. Ladypool. It's a fun group. And it's a very gory scene, and this is the scene we get Hugh Jackman pulling up his helmet or whatever it's called, mask. It's his mask, and looking iconic. And Ryan Reynolds at the beginning of the movie is like, it only took 20 years because he saw what he was wearing under it. We learned the tragic reason why he keeps it on, and I think that's beautiful. And I love that they brought a new Wolverine that we kind of half know and can still get to know, because he's a little bit more of a softy, sensitive guy because of all the things he's been through. So he's got a huge redemption arc coming up, and I'm so excited to see it. It'd be, if they put in Deadpool and Wolverine 2 before Secret Wars or Doomsday, that'd be insanely cool. Every time I pause the record, I'm like, what did I miss? Did I miss something? I'm like, every time I keep thinking about that Happy Hogan moment with Deadpool in the interview, and how he traveled over from one universe to another. And you know what? It's not, it like doesn't bother me that much, only that it's been brought up, and I feel like it needs an answer now. I think the answer is going to be the cables machine was able to go sideways and backwards and frontwards in time. So he was able to use Cable's device to get to the 616 universe. There wasn't any any way of saying that isn't how he did it. If you want to think about it a little bit, I mean, Cable's from such a far future. You could imagine that thing has more functions than just going back in time. That's what I'd guess. And I don't know why or how he knew to go 616. He is a self-aware character, so he referenced Loki when he talked about Goliath. He even said the episode number 5, which is some decent fan service right there. Goliath looks just like he does in Loki too. He looks identical, and this is how they kind of brought the worlds together in a way that we weren't expecting, like Loki and the Void, and something that a big event happened in this Marvel show, and it's going to go to show you its reach and how big it was by putting half, maybe more of the movie inside the Void, which was bravely introduced in Loki, the Void at the end of time. What Cassandra Nova wanted to do with this evil little machine that Dr. Paradox, or I don't think his name's Dr. Paradox, Paradox, wanted to know what they were using this time eraser, time stomp. I don't know what it is. I don't know why it still exists if they're trying to keep the multiverse thriving. Yet it's kind of cool when Cassandra uses it, and we see all the swivelly spaghettification start, and that's been a constant in throughout the multiverse saga thus far. The first time we see is Reed Richards in Multiverse of Madness. Wanda, that was just the most terrifying thing she's ever done to another human, let alone Jim Halpert. So that's hard to get off your brain. I'm not in a time crunch, but there are some days where I can only do so much, like in terms of talking about what I just watched, and without sounding like I'm overstretching for like to make a higher time. Like I used to do that. I'm like, man, this episode needs to be like an hour and a half, so I'm not gonna waste anyone's time, and that's not what I was trying to do. I wanted it to be worthy of an after show for, let's say, Avengers 1, which is probably like the longest episode, 2.5 hours. Still learning as a podcaster for Marvel how to make a great episode. I may go back and do Avengers original one day and some of those older movies, because I'm not as big a fan of my style then as I am now. That style being, I kind of recap the whole movie word for word and put my little thoughts on it as I go. That is a strenuous job, and I don't think personally it's the best style for a podcast, or maybe for someone else, not me. I think we need to be able to, with my ADD and my the way I make these episodes, is like I kind of got to hippity hop all over the place out of excitement. And that's how I get really passionate and bring you kind of unique ideas and or just my unique reaction to things. I'm very different than your every other day Marvel podcaster. And you know what? This episode is so self-relating. We're breaking the fourth wall because we have visited Deadpool and Wolverine before. We're hitting a milestone episode in episode 100 coming up. And it's just kind of good to have little asides with you guys, letting you know what's going on or what's on my mind in the broader sense of things. If you don't like that, I'm sorry. I am just being myself. And I am talking to a hypothetical many different people. We also learn, like at the beginning of the movie, when Wade is having his birthday party, that him and Vanessa have grown apart, and there's some slight flashbacks of them kind of breaking up, but they're still like in each other's lives as best friends and stuff. That is the kind of relationship that's very, very healthy. So I like that a lot. Even though I know he still loves her, and we know that when him and Wolverine at the end of the movie are sitting at the table, they're having like a pizza party, probably to celebrate. Even though they go get shawarma, the Avengers, Avengers invented shawarma or something like that. I like that. I like the cameos in the Void. Some of the other older X-Men, like Sabretooth, the original Sabretooth. I love Liv Schreiber's, I think that's his name, Sabretooth from X-Men Origins Wolverine. But this guy was the first one, actually, so he died immediately. Like, Wolverine took his whole head off. Elektra was an interesting character to bring back. I didn't know if or was there any giant fan demand about that. They do make a little joke that Daredevil died, and Deadpool apologizes to her, and she's like, "It's okay." I don't know if they used to date in real life, but I know they were in Daredevil, and Elektra had her own movie, and she was in Daredevil as Elektra. Honestly, it was kind of cool seeing Jennifer Gardner. It looked like, I've seen some of her social media. She seemed really excited about coming back to the role and the action, and as well as Daphne Keane, X-23. She can actually basically talk now. She could talk a little before, but she kind of reminds Wolverine that he is a hero, and he's capable of being one. And at one point, something has to resonate within him to be a hero and in honor of the fallen X-Men that he has to leave behind. And I think he has a greater calling. I think he senses it. I think he knows he has the potential to be a strong hero in any given situation. And also, it's good for him to have a good friend/family environment. Deadpool ain't going to be leaving Wolverine out unless, like, he doesn't want to come back. In which we got Calverine. I'm all for it. The fact that Channing Tatum was in this movie as Gambit was a very great, awesome Easter egg. I just love the joke where Ryan Reynolds breaks character. It's like, "Who's your dialect coach?" Because it's like he was making fun about like his accent and stuff. But I'm about to make a name for myself up in here. Like, that was good. And when he did that scene where he was like going all out, doing flips on the ground, and shooting his cards at everyone, that was super cool. I don't know. They want to, like, there's a lot of speculation on if Channing Tatum's going to be like the definitive on-screen Gambit. When I think it's a situation where Marvel wants both things somehow. Because I think we need a different Gambit. I don't know. I think Channing Tatum has been wanting it for so long. In one way, this could be just the first and only thing to kind of fulfill his want to play that character. Another likely possibility is that the fans want him bad enough, and he gets to be the actual definitive on-screen Gambit, who I'm sure we'll learn to love. Like Deadpool said, the dialect coach. He'll have to get a dialect coach. Wesley Snipes as Blade. I haven't seen the Blade movies. It's my biggest regret in life. Not really, but I want to see them. There's only gonna be one Blade, and like even like they were like all kind of looking at him. It's like, don't ruin it. But it's gone. He's gone. And after that, they said they're not making Blade. But then I'm hearing like they are making it. I don't know. Personally, I think they should just go with Wesley Snipes. I think he looks good. I don't know how far out there the other movies are. They're Marvel movies that were R-rated. Some of the first R-rated Marvel movies. I think if they brought back Wesley Snipes for another like 3 movies, I think he'd do it well. He looks good, man. I like him a lot too. I like his introduction in this movie. Makes me really want to go back and watch Blade. Trying to think of any other big cameos aside from Chris Evans. It's a Human Torch, who very much looks like it's going to be a Captain America variant at first. The way he died and Deadpool ratting him out, seeming like he's making it all up. when the post-credit scene, we see that Johnny Storm has a mouth on him, and he even goes like longer and further into shit talking her that Deadpool didn't even mention to Cassandra. Deadpool is such a troll because he knew he was gonna get him in trouble, man. He is so. That is just what I love about Deadpool. He has no shame, and he really wants. He really wants to just get the joke finished more or less than the actual like problem solved. I guess the only thing I could say in Wade's defense is he didn't really know or believe what she was capable of, and when he was telling her all that stuff, like maybe she'd beat him up, maybe she'd punch him, maybe she'd do something. It wouldn't kill him the way he did. Like I think that Wade was a little shocked by that himself. And I love the honesty in that scene from Wolverine. He's like, "You just got that guy killed." Like he's so serious. He's so good at bouncing off of Deadpool being such a goofy, goofball idiot type. Wolverine being the straight man in the act. Man, it's too funny. They use their group of super friends that they found them, and they go attack Cassandra Nova. I don't know why the other characters don't want to get out of the void. Like they even say like this very like Jennifer Garner Electra was like, we'll get our endings. It's like, oh, so you're gonna die for them? We get that one scene though we've seen from Channing Tatum. It was erased, but he shows himself being alive. I think they all survived. Actually, I think by the time Wade and Wolverine were heading into the portal, it seemed like most of the problems they had were like most of the guys were dead. So, same time, I don't know why they wouldn't want to leave, but they don't make a big deal about it. Doesn't look like they left them behind in the slightest. I would have felt that way if they didn't acknowledge them as they were leaving and jumping through that portal. The giant Ant-Man. Paul Rudd's finally aged. Yeah, I wonder how long that's been there. It always makes you think about the multiverse. Like 1,000 years can go by, but then a variant of Ant-Man from 2012 or not 2015 shows up. It's just where all time ends, and there's going to be a lot more. I think TVA pruning, Battle World. If that's not Battle World, I'm interested in what will be. But they really set up like she's going to destroy every universe, and when that happens, every universe falls into the void at the end of time. Crazy. So I don't know. Someone's going to end up using that thing. It's like a Chekhov's gun type situation. I don't know what fans could have wanted other from this movie than like being actual Avengers, or the rumor that they were going to jump through the portal at the end and end up at the battle in Endgame. Like, I don't know. They won without them already. That wouldn't be exciting. That would be pushed and forced, and you'd probably get everybody killed out there on the battlefield at Endgame. I'm glad they didn't do that. I'm kind of glad they didn't do that. I was expecting that and hoping for that. I believe at the time, like, they're going to go to Endgame. They're going to fight Thanos. We're going to see Thanos again. Everything Thanos related. I'm freaking crazy about the Mad Titan. Okay, like, I give Deadpool and Wolverine 5 out of 5 chimichangas. If we're ever rating chimichangas. In the comic book, Wade loves chimichangas. I know this because I watch so much Screen Crush and Nerdtainment that that's just in my head somewhere. I might be wrong about it. So in the end, Wade and Wolverine, Wade wanted to be the self-sacrifice hero, and Wolverine came in just the last second, even though Deadpool locked him out to prevent Cassandra Nova from destroying everything. And Paradox tells them they can't survive doing that. They'll die immediately. Well, the two of them, using their bodies and strength and Hugh Jackman's abs, holy shit, they are able to fix the problem and get her to stop using that thing. So creepy how she can look into people's heads. Puts her. I feel like this is all the stuff I talked about last time. Like we know that she puts her hand into people's faces. It's still disturbing on the small screen. I thought the film was a lot of fun. It had me laughing at times, more than a few times. It was very different from the first two Deadpools, and I think the second Deadpool is very different from the first. It shows that this character works in lots of different styles of movies. Put him in any setting, and he'll have some sort of amazing dynamic with whatever else is happening there. Seeing him as a secondhand character in the future, popping up its Deadpool cameos, like just out of nowhere, maybe like the new Stan Lee. Some people have said his cameos can be like that. It's a movie that like I said at the beginning, we needed more than if we didn't want it, we needed it. I think I say the same for Agatha all along. Really, no one asked for it, but we wanted it. People asked for Deadpool and Wolverine. Agatha all along. If you haven't watched it, watch it and listen to our after shows. Such a fun show. And this is a great movie. Two great indicators that the MCU is back on course and more ready than ever, especially with Joe and Anthony Russo at the helm of the Doomsday and Secret Wars. Like, if you think about it, they are the ones that you got to go to in these warm-up movies to the big event. They do have a hand in that overall story, the post-credit scenes, the endings of these movies, what they did with Kang and Ant-Man, leaving doors open. There's a rumor that Doctor Doom's going to decimate all those Kangs we met. If we get a scene like that, that's cool, because I don't want that to be in the back of my head. Like, all those Kangs were there. Are we just supposed to pretend that didn't happen? We can't say it's from another universe, because it was the culmination of all the Kangs from all the universes. I still like Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, even though I've watched it maybe no time since I did in theaters. Maybe I should do a revisit to that one. It just hurts a little bit watching that one, because we kind of thought the next movies were leading up to a big fight with Kang, and that changed. So that's okay. Next episode, it's finally come. I'm doing Black Panther. If you see a different movie than Black Panther, I need you to hit the feedback button and be like, dude, you need to do Black Panther before Infinity War. It's important. And I agree. I'm going to do Black Panther this week. Thor, Ragnarok, literally the last episode before. We'll do it for episode 99. That leaves us on episode 98, where I could talk to you about the newest trailer for Captain America Brave New World. I'm going to be honest, this would be more of a critique of why movies shouldn't reveal too much in their trailers. However, I'm thinking of not doing that negative style episode. I don't know if I want to get in the critiquey mindset more than this is what happened and where things are going. And if it's just about the promotion, the movie probably needs the promotion, let's be honest. So, next Wednesday is up in the air. Following week, we will have, on Friday, our episode 100 episode. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening to me rant about your favorite movies and spending your time here with me. I love that you joined me, because I love this stuff, and it's good to know that some people out there feel the same way that I do. And no matter who I am, it's good to have some self-acceptance and be able to talk about the MCU freely without mean criticisms. Hit up that box, our feedback box in our description. Follow us on all social medias, Marvel Maniac Pod, marvelmaniacpod@gmail.com for any inquiries, or you just want to reach out to us there. We're everywhere. So give it a rating, a high rating on whatever you're listening to as the call to action this week. I need the show rated, and I need positive reviews on Apple. So go find wherever you're watching this from, the best way you can rate this. Do that for me, and good karma will come your way. This has been Marvel Maniac, an MCU after show. Your host, Eric Cicada, aka Mr. Honest, doing a little bit of back in time love to Deadpool and Wolverine. Did I miss any key moments? Let me know in the feedback. I will see you guys in a couple days for Black Panther. And until then, Avengers, disassemble.